If you missed the Fix podcast from yesterday, you missed an explosive one. Anytime you have Camille and Georgi Tsvetkov on the podcast together, you know it's going to be entertaining. The last 30 minutes of this podcast was Georgi going absolutely crazy on Vitali, saying he's overrated, saying he's a cheater, that he blinks a lot of stuff that was super entertaining. Also, Camille was talking about who Leavan should face next. Everyone was talking about that as well. Let's take a look at some clips from this. Let's look at a couple comments here. Henry says, I don't care what strings need to be pulled. We need Vitali and Tsvetkov on a podcast in the next week. Yeah, that would be super entertaining. There was a moment where Georgi was saying, this is King's move. This is not arm wrestling, referring to Michael Todd's style, basically. Let's go right into some of the trash talk moments.
Blink, 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 blink.
Georgi Tsvetkov trolling Vitali, saying that once he gets in a position, he false starts a lot, and when he doesn't get the position he wants, he starts panicking and he starts blinking, basically what Georgi was saying.
2 meters arm wrestler with 0 wrists. Do you understand that?
Endless content on this podcast here. Highly recommend you go watch it, especially the last 30 to 40 minutes were super entertaining.
0 wrists. I respect him. I just say my opinion, you know.
And Georgi also called out that Krasimir used to beat him at 100 kilograms. He says Vitali is naturally a skinny guy without the juice. He would not be competitive at super heavyweight. This was 2014. I believe this is the European Championships, in which Krasimir beat him on the left and on the right at 100 kilograms. And you're going to see the progression over the years from 2014 to 2017. Here's Krasimir getting Vitali sucked in the hook, getting the win. But at the World Championships that same year, Vitali had more success. This time, Vitali able to stay out of the hook and top roll Krasimir. Now, 2016, Krasimir gets in the hook in 2016 on the right arm. Let's take a look. 10 years ago now. Here's the rematch. Vitali gets him in the rematch. Once he gets in that hand, 2017 flash pin from Vitali. 2017 here, flash pin. And that was the final. Looks like the European Arm Wrestling Championship 2017. So clearly Vitali has evolved. Even 2017, he was still competing at 110 kilograms, so not 100, but 110. Now he's obviously even much bigger. But here was one of the clips from that podcast.
Believe me, this guy is a cheater. Just false starts and all the time climbing, nothing more. He has just one very fast hit before the start. If you stop him, he dies. Look what Michael did to him first round. Look Michael Todd what did him to first round.
Yeah, Georgi had a much better hand position than Vitali in round one against Michael Todd. But even with all the complete hand position that Georgi had against Michael Todd, he still lost, even though Michael was in the most crazy position. Somehow able to hold on and beat Georgi there.
With this weekend, cracked Vitali's wrist in the first round. How can you expect Vitali to beat Leavan? Explain me how. I cannot explain in my head how.
So Georgi has been advocating that, you know, the winner of Georgi and Leavan, or Georgi and Camille, should face Leavan. Obviously, it's up in the air who Leavan should pull next. We had him call out Devin. The majority of fans are saying Devin should take his time and not be rushed into having a match with Leavan. This poll has almost 10,000 votes. Should Devin pull Leavan in December, or does he deserve more time to face him next year? 72% think he should face him next year. Leavan has to pull Vitali in December, or Camille or Georgi. They were advocating for themselves on the podcast here. Camille was saying, I don't understand why Leavan is saying there's no one for him to face. Meanwhile, Camille, Georgi are both eager for the match. Let's read a couple more comments here. Leavan needs to pull more people more often. Yeah, Leavan is the one who takes the most time off. Devin is always pulling. Yeah. Devin needs to be at absolute peak to compete with Leavan. Giving Leavan more of an advantage doesn't make sense. He needs to pull Vitali. Leavan should pull Jablonski. I want to see that personally. Don't allow Leavan to make that decision. Leavan should arm wrestle Vitali. Are people excited for real about this match? I would be more excited about Devin versus Bacho at 115 or Devin versus Morozov. Well, Devin versus Matyushenko in September is going to be interesting considering the history of the petition, where apparently Matyushenko was one of the authors or co-authors sending the letter, with all the athletes signing to ostracize Devin from the league a year ago, if you guys remember that. But make sure to go watch this podcast on Neil's channel. Definitely highly recommend it. Hey, like and subscribe on my video as well. Also, link in my description for the pay-per-view for EVW 25. Use code TOM to save money and support my channel. That would be appreciated. I'll catch you guys in the next video.